welcome everyone. Welcome to today's deep dive series with Ms. Monica Martinez. We have the Canva whiteboard and record yourself today. This is the last of our series in the Canva design series. So with that said, I'll hand it over to Ms. Monica Martinez.
Thank you. All right, Joe, like I mentioned just a couple of seconds ago, please add your intros to the chat. Go ahead and just let us know what your role is. If you are a classroom teacher, please include your title and description. So go ahead and drop that into the chat. And confirming once again, Maribel, that you can see my screen. Are we good to go?
Yes, ma'am, we're good to go.
Perfect. All right, everyone. So we're going to be talking Canva presentations along with the recording feature. So we are going to dive into that. If you have a way in which you can try it out, so go ahead and log into your Canva account. If you don't, no worries. It's a pretty short session. You could just really kick back and take it all in. But if you want to participate and go through the steps as I'm showcasing them, please go ahead and log into your Canva account now. While you're doing that and doing your intro as well in the chat, I'll go ahead and introduce myself for those of you who I haven't met, who have not been with us in the other sessions. My name is Monica Isabel Martinez. I support Canva on the professional development side, and I am your go-to PD person for your district for Canva stuff specifically. So when PSJA went Canva education, Canva provided a team of us to support your district to go Canva and to integrate it and all that kind of good stuff. So again, I'm your go-to PD person, and we've got other folks at Canva that also support your district more on the technical side and the management side and so forth. But anyway, lovely to meet you all for those who I hadn't met yet, and happy to be here. And like Maribel said, we're wrapping up the series. So this is the last of a series of sessions we were doing on Canva tools. And before we get started, just kind of want to get a feel for who's in the room as well as your level of experience in using Canva. So please, in addition to your role, please go ahead and drop in a 1 through 5. 1 being I'm unfamiliar or fairly new to Canva, all the way to level 5, which would be an expert. So just kind of, again, want to get a feel for your use of Canva. So go ahead and drop in your number into the chat. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and let me know who's in the room. What is your role? All right, so see here. All right, so we're looking at 2 3s more and less. All right, for those of you who have joined us just a few seconds ago, we're dropping in our intros in the chat. So just put in your role. I just want to know who's in the room, and then also your skill level with your use of Canva. So 1 through 5, just go ahead and drop it into the chat. All right, so we're getting more of a mix now, 2 3 more and less. Okay. All right, so keep those coming as you're settling into the room. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off with a little bit of some intro stuff that I wanted to share with you. Today, we're going to be focused on the presentation tool, but specifically the recording studio, which is available to you as part of the suite of application that you have. In the recording studio, there's quite a bit to explore. We're going to actually look at these features during our session today. I'm going to actually jump into a presentation and launch the recording studio so we can see it in action. But just so you get an idea, these are some of the features, not all of them, but some of the more useful and tools that a lot of people use when they're using the recording feature. So things like the pause button, being able to turn off the video if you only want to capture audio, being able to connect other cameras, things like that. So we're going to dive into those. Now, before we get into the tool itself, I do want to point out something about captions, because if you want to include captions with the videos that you create, you need to enable the captions feature. So let me jump over to our homepage, and I'm going to show you where to go to enable captions. If you do not enable them before you record your video, you will not be able to generate captions. And so you want to make sure that they're enabled, that they're turned on. So that's the first step we're going to do. I'm back at my home page. So if you're following along and you want to try this out, go to your home page. So you can just go to canva.com. If you're already logged in, it'll take you straight into your account. If not, go ahead and log in. Once you're on your home page, the very first column of tools that you see there, you're going to go all the way down to the very last one, the very bottom one. That is your profile icon. You're going to click on that. It's going to pop open this window where you're going to go to your account. It's the top button there at the top of the pop-up window. And then you're going to scroll down just below that. So you want to make sure you're logged into your school account. Once you've got that, you're going to go down to settings. In the second column, you're going to click on accessibility. Now, if you're not seeing that second column, up here at the very top left, you've got 3 little lines. It looks like just 3 lines stacked up on top of each other. If you don't see that second column, just pop it open by clicking on it. It just basically toggles open and close when you click on that little icon at the top. We want to pop it open so you can see that menu of options, and you're clicking on accessibility. Once you're on accessibility, you're looking for captions. You're going to enable that. You can tell it's enabled because it turns it purple and it gives you a little check mark. If it looks gray like these here, that means it is not turned on currently. So you want to enable that. Again, we're enabling captions in order to be able to have the ability to have captions go along with our videos. Now, you'll always be able to hide those captions if you don't want them to appear in a specific video, but the only way to actually have captions to begin with is if you enable them. So that's what we're doing here. Once you've done that, you can go back to your home page. You are set. You're ready to go. So what we're going to do for the purpose of today, we're going to use a template. We're going to pretend that we've built our presentation and we're ready to record our voice. So to do that, I'm just going to use a basic template to give us something to start with, to give us content on the presentation. So again, if you're following along and trying this out, what I'd like you to do on the left-hand side, the very first column, we're going to go over to the template gallery. So it is the 5th icon down. Just go ahead and make your way down to that one. When you click on that, that takes us here. We're looking for education presentations. So you're going to see right in the center here, there is these little blocks that you can click on. All of these are clickable. You're looking for education presentation. We're going to click on that. And that's going to take us to this view here where we can then do a search for a specific presentation. But in the interest of today, doesn't really matter. We just want a template so we have something on the screen. So I'm going to pick this very first one that just popped up called Daily Slides. So I'm going to click on that. It pops it open like this. And then I'm going to click on the Customize This Template purple button here on the right-hand side. That's going to now pop that open into a new page, which I'm going to share with you now here. And as you can see, I've got all my slides down there at the bottom. Again, we're pretending as if this is a presentation that we've just created and we're ready to now record our voice. So again, those of you who are jumping in here to do the demo with me, I'm going to give you just a couple of 30 seconds here to find your template. And meanwhile, I'm going to come back to see if there are any questions in the chat. Yes, today's session is on presentations with the recording feature. All right. Okay, looks like we're all good. All right. Coming back then to our slide deck. Hopefully those of you who are finding one, 3, 2, 1, click, click, customize this template so you have it open and ready to go. Those of you again who are watching, no worries, you can just kick back. So I've got my presentation. Now I'm ready to start my recording. Okay, so what I'm going to do over to the left-hand side, I've got all of my buttons here. I'm going to come down to uploads. It is the 5th one down. And once you click on that, it opens this menu. It's up here at the very top, just below the purple button. You'll see a button that says record yourself. That's what we're going to click on. And it's going to open this menu of options. And I do want to just spend a quick minute here to show you some of the new things that have rolled out. We've always had the record yourself feature. We've had it for a really long time. That's the one we're going to be jumping into. But we now also have a record voiceover option if you just want to do a voiceover over your design. We've got a screen recording that you can now enable for your desktop so that you could record things that are on your desktop. Now, this is really, really new. So it's, it's getting there. It's still kind of working through. When things first launch, as there's sometimes, a little glitchy, but it's getting there as far as its capability. And then lastly, generate AI voice is one of the features you can also leverage. We're going to focus on record a talking head. Now, I know that sounds a little funny, but that really is what it is that we're about to do. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to launch our recording studio. This is it right here. You can see me down in a little bubble right in the center left of the screen here. But before I jump into my recording, I want to just show you up here towards the top right. If you don't see this menu pop open on yours, you can actually just click the gear. It's the little settings button up there at the top right to be able to toggle that menu open. I wanted to show you this because there are ways to connect more than just the camera that's built into your device. So right now, when I launched the recording studio, it defaulted to my computer's camera, but you can actually toggle that to any of your other devices that are connected to said device. So if you've got, for example, a document camera, or like I have my phones that are also connected with my laptop. So if you connect your phone to your laptop, it will become an option, like you see mine here become options as well. You also have up here at the top the ability to work a recording off of your camera and screen, or just the screen. So this is if you just wanted to record what is happening on your presentation here and not actually have video or audio. Now we want to do the camera because we want to come out. That's what the option that we want to pick. All right. Once you have that set, that's the default. We're good to go. Down here at the bottom left, we're going to select our little floating bubble. The very first option is for filters. This is to be able to maybe add more light, maybe remove light. If it's too dark in your room or what have you, you can make adjustments before you start the recording. And then the second icon, this one that says FX, it's effects, which is the same one that's up here. When you click on that, that's to be able to do sort of some retouching, glamour glow kind of thing. So you're welcome to give that a go if you'd like. And then the third option here is to change the shape. Now, currently I'm in a bubble, so I'm in a little circle here. You can change this shape to rectangle to be able to, cover more ground right behind you. So if there are things behind you that are important to the recording, you could definitely do that. Or maybe there's somebody else with you. There's two of you, and so you want to be able to fit two people on here. You can expand that onto rectangle. The next option is to mirror the camera. Now, this is going to be important if you have text like right above me. See how it says adventure? But notice that it's not reading left to right, it's reading right to left. If you have text that's important to your recording, you can actually mirror the camera so that it reads left to right. So now it's reading the correct way, but before it wasn't. So you want to mirror the camera in order for it to capture that text in the right direction. Now, that's not important to today's recording, so I'm going to leave it as is. And then lastly, you have a button to be able to turn off the camera, in which case it would only capture your audio, but your profile icon would go along with it. Again, for the purpose of today, we're going to leave that on. Okay, now that we're ready, now we've figured it all out, we've got all the settings the way we want to, we're ready to start our recording. Notice down at the bottom, I am starting on slide number 1. That's where I'm going to start my recording. I'm going to click the big record button here in the center. It's going to count me down. 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to our morning announcements. We are going to be talking through all the stuff that's happening, not only today, but for the rest of the week, yada, yada, right? Like I'm basically speaking to my audience here and whatever is on my slide. And then when I'm ready, I'll move on to slide 2. So down here at the bottom, I'm going to click on the second slide. All right, everyone, so I just have a couple of quick reminders, and then I read my reminders, yada. Move on to the next slide. Okay, so today is circle the day, blah, 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 yada. It's just giving instructions, telling whoever is my audience, telling them what they need to know. And so all I'm doing is basically down at the bottom, moving from slide to slide. and speaking to whatever I need to speak to when I'm on that slide. Now, if I have notes and I want to be able to like see what am I going to say next, I can actually pause the recording. You notice there's a little pause button right here. I can pause that, look at my notes, and when I'm ready, I can click the resume button and then continue to talk, and the recording then continues at that point. Between your slides, I highly recommend that you kind of let yourself breathe a little. Don't kind of just run through all of the text that you're reading or all the stuff that you're saying, but just you yourself, just kind of give yourself a moment to like say what you need to say here, give it a second. You click on the next slide, then you give it a second, and then you start speaking again. This way, when the video is clipped, it doesn't cut your voice off between the different slides. So just kind of give yourself some time between slides where you don't say anything as you're moving between them. Once you're done with your recording, everything that you're capturing, you can click the done button. And by the way, if you had, let's say, 30 slides and you mess up on slide 28, don't stop the recording and throw it away and start all over again. Continue. I'm going to show you how to easily fix whenever you do mess up on any of the slides. So we're going to click on done. And then up at the top right, this is important. You do have to click on save and exit. And that's going to welcome everybody to our, let me pause that. That's now going to exit out of the recording studio. We're back on our presentation. Up here at the top, I'm going to click the back arrow here where it says record yourself, just so we can go back out. And then I'm going to click on videos so I can see all of my different videos here. Now you saw me do one recording, yet I have 2, 4, 6, 7 different recordings. Why do I have 7 recordings if you saw me do just one actual recording? I only did one recording right now with you. Why do I have 7 clips? Okay, feel free to answer in the chat. Why did we end up with 7 clips when I only did one recording? Any guesses? No pressure, no worries, but I'm just curious to know if anyone knows the answer. Why do we have 7? So if you notice that as I was moving between slides, I went through a total of so many different slides, right? And so what Canva does for you with the recording talking head feature is that it clips your video clips to whatever you said on just that one slide. So that if you messed up, like I said earlier, if you mess up on slide, let's say 28 out of 30, you do not have to record the whole thing over again. We go to slide 28. We select that video clip, we remove it, we launch the recording studio again and only record on that one slide. And that now is fixed because now we have a new recording for that one particular slide. So I really like that because I don't have to re-record the whole thing. What that also means, because these are individual clips, it means that I can place one clip here and then I can move on to another page and place that clip up here. It also means I can even come to any one of my clips and I can decide, oh, I'm going to remove the background from this one so that I can embed myself better into this presentation. So I'm going to do a background remover and I'm going to embed myself into this particular slide. So I'm going to move myself maybe here, and I'm even going to maybe make myself bigger so that I really look like I'm a part of this. I'm going to move myself over to the left-hand side. And there you go. Now, all of a sudden, I'm a part of this slide with no background. Yet on slide, let's say 3, now I'm over here at the top and I didn't remove the background from that one. So they're behaving like individual clips. They don't cause any issues one between the other. Now, I mentioned earlier, too, the captions. So let's take a quick look at this. I'm going to click the play button here. Welcome, everybody. Actually, I'm going to put this in presentation mode. Welcome, everybody, to our morning announcements. All right, so I'm going to just pause it there for a quick second. Notice the captions are showing up at the bottom there. This is so that my audience can be able to follow along and read. If you decided, let's exit out. If you decided that you did not want the captions on that one particular video or clip, you can go to the 3 little dots up here at the top and then just scroll all the way down and you'll notice that one of your options is hide view only captions. so that you actually get rid of them for that particular clip. So there might be times where you don't want the captions to show up. You could certainly hide the captions, but remember, we enabled it at the beginning so that it would be at least available for us to have to be able to use them. So I could always say hide view only captions. The other thing I can do is if you decided I don't want to come out in the video, I only want the audio, you've already recorded, but you've now changed your mind and you now just want the audio clip. You don't want the whole video to come out. Well, once again, we're going to click the 3 little dots. And then down here at the bottom, you'll notice there is an option for extract audio. This is going to separate the audio from the video, allowing me to be able to now remove the video altogether. But notice down at the bottom, I still have the audio of what I was saying. So we're still going to be able to hear, but skip right on through the video. Like we don't actually have the video to watch. Instead, I'm just going to hear. So let's put that in presentation mode. All right, everyone, so I just have a couple of quick reminders and then I read. All right, so you could hear me, but you can no longer see that video. And sorry, was there a question? I thought I heard something. Feel free to come off mute. We're fairly small groups, so if you have any questions, feel free to come off mute. You can also drop your question into the chat. I am monitoring that, and I know Maribel is on hand as well. So if you have questions, please drop that in. Okay, so from what we were looking at here, so a couple of different things. Let me just come back to this here. So we looked at the fact that our videos are auto trimmed. So let me just come back to this slide. You saw that that's automatic. If you do not want your video to get clipped the way that it did in my example, then just stay on one slide and don't let it clip. You can then just get one full audio file and then trim it as you see fit. You can record up to 25 minutes per slide. So you have a lot of time here that you can dedicate on each of your slides. We talked about the pause feature and the ability to be able to record both audio and video and connect other cameras, and then that mirror camera feature. So I just want to pause again really quick here. We're pretty close to time. Do you have any questions? Any questions? Meanwhile, I'm going to go grab a link for you that I'm going to share with some resources. It's going to show you pretty much everything we looked at. I'm going to share it with you so that you have a workbook to get back to. I know this always happens like when you've got someone presenting, telling you all the steps, it's like it's working, and then suddenly you go off on your own and it's like, oh, it's no longer working. What did she do? So I've got a workbook for you. And I'm going to show you this really quick. I'm going to give you access to this workbook. There's over 140 pages worth of content. But if you start on slide 57, this section is dedicated to our video tools and our record feature. And so as you're going through that, you're going to see different things that you can explore. And when you get to slide 61, it'll get to what we just covered, which is the record yourself option. And FYI, it is available for mobile as well. So if you're on the go, you want to do a really quick recording, you can definitely do that from a mobile device. You can log into your Canva education account from a mobile. And on a desktop, I've also got the instructions here for what you would do. Like it says here, step 1, go to the upload, select record yourself, select record a talking head, go to the gear to adjust your settings that we looked at that. And then I even dropped in an additional step here if you wanted to do a background remove so that you show up on the video without a background. So that's there on slide 62. 63 would be for my classroom teachers, but I don't think we got any classroom teachers today, or at least I didn't see that at the beginning there. But this is just an example of how a classroom teacher might use this to provide feedback to students, where you can actually record yourself. Or if you are supporting teachers with maybe how-to video tutorials, things like that, where you can do recordings and create all kinds of resources for folks. Or if you're maybe giving instructions for things, maybe guiding parents through some steps on what they need to be able to do, this would be a great feature for that as well. So I'm going to drop in the link to this workbook. Again, you're going to start on page 57. So give me a really quick second here. I'm going to go over, grab that link. start on page 57. And I will send this in a follow-up. I've been sending all the resources post-session, so you should be able to get to all the content afterwards. We're pretty close to time. We've got about 5 minutes left. So I want to do two things. One, answer any questions, anything that's still lingering as a can I do this, can I do that kind of situation, or review something. As well as what do you think? How might you use this tool? Drop into the chat. What are your ideas? How might you use it? What did you think of the recording feature? Feel free once again to come off mute if you'd like to also participate. And no pressure. If you're like, no, I'm just going to hang back, that's totally fine. Yes, Maribel, we use this a lot ourselves. We create a lot of our video tutorials this way. So yeah, definitely very helpful for that purpose.